Before the empire comes the spark. And for some, the spark is lit by pain, uncertainty, or purpose too big to ignore. My guest today is Adeola Kingsley James.
And then the first thing you do when you come into the world, first, you have come out to strangers, not even a face that you know. And then they're slapping you and waiting for you to cry.
A therapist, coach, best-selling author, and the kind of woman who holds space for others while walking her own bold path.
The carer child, this is the one that makes sure that everybody's fine, but there's nothing left for that child. And in adulthood, you become Amy.
She's built her work on igniting people to live boldly and unapologetically. But before she could help others, she had to build herself.
Have you met people who are extremely rich and extremely empty and unhappy? So money doesn't make you happy, but happy makes you money.
Today, you'll hear the story behind the work, the inner shifts behind the outer success, and the spark that created a queen of transformation. Hi, Adeola.
Hello.
Oh my God. I'm so looking forward to this conversation, especially because we've had a back conversation before now, and I really wish you guys listen in on it. I'm going to try as much as possible to, I hope we get there. If it's for you, you will hear it. But let's just dive straight into it. How did you get here?
Through pain. A lot of pain. I think I will go back to the day that I decided to turn my life around. And this day, I was in the darkness of my room. I think it just dawned on me that I had nothing working for me. And I was just going to be 40, and I had nothing to show for it. Now, was I married? Yes. I had 2 stepkids at the time, and I had my own child. But because I didn't go to any school to teach me how to be a mother or a wife, and I ask people, you go to school 7 years to be a lawyer. You go to medical school 8 years. What school do you go to be a mother or a wife? And then add being a worker. I'll use that in quote. So of course I didn't know what to do. And coming from being a people pleaser, I think also made me even choose the spouse that I did. Because, as Savior Jesus' younger sister that I was, I think I picked, that part of me picked the man that I eventually married, that I'm grateful for now, but I couldn't see the magic then. And I picked because I felt like he needed saving, and Voltron, defender of the universe,
oh my God,
is who I am, because as a child, I didn't feel loved, right? And one of the things that we don't know that we throw ourselves into is some semblance or some level of performance. But we don't know it. And we're performing because we need to keep the connection and supposed love with our parents, especially our mothers, because we've come from a hotel. You're eating, drinking, and then the first thing you do when they bring you out is slap you first of all to cry.
Oh my God.
Now, the child... You've come from peace. Well, seeming peace. And then the first thing you do when you come into the world, first, you have come out to strangers, not even a face that you know. And then they're slapping you and waiting for you to cry. So it tells you something as a child, as a baby. At that point, I'm not safe. And then you see that when you cry, people run to you and carry you. When you are so You are using everybody, especially your parents at that time, as your mirror to the world. You see that, I mean, have you seen studies or examples where the mother is holding on to the baby, and when the mother is smiling, the baby is smiling. And when the mother is frowning, the baby is frowning. And maybe when baby smiles and the mother stays frowning, the baby starts to get very uncomfortable because this is not what I'm used to. When I smile, normally you smile. So we then move from there because, of course, now you're no longer coochie coo. Oh, she's so cute because she can't talk. And then you start talking. And so you realize that when you do things, you are termed good child. When you do things, you are termed bad child. When you go to school and you come back with good grades, you are daddy's child. When you come back with bad grades, you're daddy's. Right? And what are we telling this child? You've got to do certain things. You've got to perform in a particular way to be seen as the good child.
There was some research done with monkeys. They put 4 monkeys in a room, and then they put a banana at the top of a maybe ladder. But every time the monkey wanted to climb the ladder, they would flush cold water of the monkeys. So the monkeys now started to ascribe, if I want to go for this thing, they want cold water. So we might as well not go for the thing. So they ignore the bananas and continue living their lives. So they removed an old monkey, put in a new monkey. Because the new monkey that comes in is like, I'm going to go fit a banana there. Before the monkey climbs the first step, the 2 monkeys that are there beats this monkey to stupor. No more water. Why are you beating him? Because you cannot go up there, is bad for them. They removed the second old monkey, the third old monkey, put fresh monkeys. So the one that the other 2 had taught, they're taught to the first 2.
Now I ever experienced water, cold water.
Never experienced water, but experience the pain of the others. By the time they put a fresh monkey, a third one, to say, okay, come on now. That says you can't. Why? It says because this is how we've been doing it. So those 2 monkeys didn't even know why you cannot go for the banana. Whereas our culture has taken place, tradition. It's taking place. So this is how we do it. So clear to me then that there's so many other things that we're doing that we have no knowledge of.
Yes.
And where my mom's to us. See, was it a chauffeur at some point? Get big feet.
So he couldn't wear shoes. You know when they say no shoe? So they couldn't find his shoe size. So he used to move around
barefoot.
Thank you. What did that happen? What did that change?
So his entire Christian.
Today, even abroad.
Is that not
the white garment?
Celestial Church?
Yes. Even abroad, you will be seeing them in white garment, no shoe. Well, although they have started to wake up abroad, I've started seeing them wear shoe. Then when they get to the front of the church, they say because everywhere is holy land. He didn't have his shoe size. So what are the other things that we're doing?
You know what is even more mind-blowing? What I find more mind-blowing with that is, oh Lord, the power of culture or tradition.
Yes.
No. I don't even think it's power of culture. I think it's the power of what you believe. You know when Yoruba says, when your belief or your faith
join
you
together,
attach
and
it
so
to
belief
something,
moves into faith.
Knowledge is not even now enough to set you free.
No.
Because those people, I know they've probably already heard that this was the reason why the man does X, Y, Z.
But they're already
it's
used
not
to
enough.
it, yes.
Is it that they're used to it or they don't want to stand out anymore?
Well, I think it could be all of the above. I don't think anyone is right or anyone is wrong. It's one, familiarity. I've been doing this for 40 years. What this? And it's not as if it even bothers me.
Is it me that will even
It's not
start going against the grain?
Then if I now stand out, they will say I'm rebellious. Let's not even rock the boat. The ones that do it are seen to be rebellious and stubborn, and then they want to be
outcasts.
Exactly. So because once again, we see stubborn as, in my own English, I cannot control you. And we all want to control people. So going back to my childhood and the not wanting to be controlled, there are 4 predominant roles that children play. The first role is when we talk about performance now,
Right.
the first role is the brilliant child. When you come back with good grades, mommy and daddy celebrate you and they buy you gifts. So you register it in your mind that I just need to be the best, and then this love keeps flowing. And you carry that into adulthood and you're burnt out 100%. You want to be the first, you want to be the best at everything. Meanwhile, there's the possibility of one of the best and one of the first, rather than being the only one. Then you have the second role, the carer child. This is the one that makes sure that everybody's fine, but there's nothing left for that child. And in adulthood, you become a me. The third role was the sickly child, because every time you were sick, your parents that didn't have time for you now have time for you. And so you're consistently sick because now mommy say, ma for work on cream here, Bola loni. And then you'll be feeling special. And last but not the least is the rebellious child. And they call that child the difficult child. And the job of that child is to take power off the adult. So as the adult is saying, I will break you, the child is saying, I will break you. So who will break who first? And that was the child that I was. I was so rebellious, it was unbelievable. I was that kind of child that my uncles and aunties used to use power to prove that they could beat me more than my father and my mother could beat me. Where one day my aunt pulled out one cable because I did something wrong. And she was beating me, and I looked up at her and I said, Auntie, this beating you are beating me, your body will pain you. And I said it in Yoruba. Araima aramaro yo. Even my terrible Yoruba. I said, and I will not help you massage that body. And so I now got more names. Aje, Osho, Emere, Ogbanje, all the names. And I'm yellow.
Oh,
so
wow.
I can't avoid it. In fact, you know.
Wow.
So I was that child that nobody thought would do anything good. I was that child. And I didn't prove them wrong. Because I didn't know how to. And so you can believe in a lie so much that it becomes your truth.
So what woke you up to your deeper mission?
That night, I was able to... Now, that night, I wasn't able to tell all the story that I'm telling is because I've done therapy and all of that. That night, my daughter came into my room. She was 3 years old, about at the time. And she looked at me and she said, Mommy, are you auntie, are you mommy? I said, I'm mommy. She then goes, because I was hard, I couldn't be a good mother to her because I couldn't be a good mother to myself. Then she asked me another question.
You have to define. Yes.
I used to run from my daughter. I used to run away from her because I didn't want her to see my inadequacies. I didn't want her to see my insecurities. I didn't want her to see how I felt about myself genuinely and how I had a low thought about myself. I didn't want her to see it. And I can't explain all these things to you in English. I don't think I can create the experience in words, but that's just what was going on in my head. I didn't want her to see that I didn't have the capacity to be her mother. I had no business being her mother, actually. And I think that a lot of people that have children have no business being parents until you have found yourself in such a way where you're wholesome enough to bring another child, because most of us are leading our children blindly because we're blind.
100%.
Yeah. You know, once again, what school did we go to, right? And so her second question to me...
What school did they go to?
There you go. So we assume that once I give birth to them, I know what to do. But do we? We don't. Because even us at that age are still children looking for expression. And then we bring a child into this world that looks up to us for their expression. It's impossible.
It's overwhelming.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
So my daughter asked me, are you happy or are you sad? I said, I'm happy. And she goes, then why are you crying? She was maybe about 3. Barely 4, but about B+. And I said to her, because we also don't know that our children think that they are saviors. And when they can't save us, feel like they failed. I carry that failure all their lives without even them knowing that that's what they were doing.
Carry the blame.
It's so deep, right? So I said, she said, I'm happy. She said, then why are you crying? I said, because I'm happy to see you. And she looked at me. She knew I was lying. I knew I was lying. And she gave me like a moment to absorb my lie. You know, when there's just silence. And then she hugs me and says, Mommy, I just want you to know that I love you. That's 3. I promise you. She's 9 now. It's talking. So she was about 3+ here.
Wow.
So that night, I cried like I've never cried in my life. But within my tears, I made a promise to her soul that night and to my soul that she will never see me like this again. That I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I will be that mother that leads this child in a way where this child can find her greatness because I found mine. That night. So I woke up the following morning. Once again, I don't know. But you know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. And that's what happened to me. So my first teacher arrived. I like to create English. My first teacher, I met a friend of mine
who said to me that he has a group. And I will also say here that prayer to anybody going through a tough time is that when you're going through that time at your weakest, may you be surrounded by people who are good. Because any answer will be an answer. Any answer.
Oh Lord.
Anything will sound good. So fortunately, I would say fortunately, I had met somebody that I could reach out to and I said, look, I need help. His name is Priest Fowe. And he said he has this group on Saturday mornings, they meet, gist.
I said, whatever.
About going to the group. So I went there. I think the second session, somebody said, if you do not have an identity, you will answer to anything that you are called. And to me, that was Rema, because I didn't have an identity. Now I know different. My identity was just very weak. So the identity that I carried was I'm nothing, and I'm not nobody, and I'll never amount to anything. That was the identity I carried, and that created the life. Even that I felt I had done well, I still didn't settle down because I didn't think it mattered to me, right? And so I met somebody who I later was, I'll say, a funny. I'll say it was funny because anything started to sound good. But I'm happy that I met him, because if you don't know bad, you cannot know good. And that's what happened for me. So my next teacher was good because I knew what I didn't want anymore. And my next teacher was Lisa Nichols. She's an American, I'll say, transformative coach and teacher. So I saw her online. She was offering a course. I listened to her. I said, this has to be my teacher. So I searched for what she was doing. She had a conference she was doing. This was just around COVID period. So everybody was at home. I tell you that COVID period was the beginning of my life changing. It was the best time of my life. I sit down and listen to her for hours. I wouldn't eat. I would sit down because one thing she said at the beginning was you have to become a no matter what type of person. You can't be like it's either I'm in
Or in. there's no look.
And I sent her a question. I said, what do you do with self-sabotage? And she laughed when I said that. When she read my question, and she said, Adela, as she called me, if I asked to do anything, would you do it? I said to her, at the point that I'm in, I will do it and then some.
And she said to me, if you do everything that I ask you to do and follow my steps in 1 year, you'll be using the binocular to look at your life because it'll be unrecognizable. And that's exactly what happened.
Amazing.
That was the shift for me. I mean, I met other people after that, but that was the first step that I took.
Wow.
So pain led me to where I'm.
What sort of pain?
It was
How would
brokenness.
because I'm trying to, or maybe I should ask it in this way. Would you say that you've been able to turn that pain around to become your purpose?
1000%.
Okay. So generally in business, they'll say find a problem, solve it.
Yeah.
Maybe find other people's problems.
Yes.
Or it might be
Something
a problem
you're
that you're
passionate-
experiencing by
yes.
yourself. But oftentimes, people separate self from that. We tend to believe that this body, this person is just different. We're dealing with every other thing externally. So even when you hear people saying, "No, I don't know what I want to do with myself. I don't know what," it's because we're constantly removing ourselves. So how were you able to turn that, first of all, even accepting that pain?
That I'm broken.
I think it is one of the most difficult things
I agree.
to stand and look in the mirror and say that, or admit to myself
Yes.
that I'm shit.
Yes.
You know, even though you might be telling yourself that you're shit subconsciously,
Yes.
but
You
to
have
look
not.
in the mirror
Yes.
and
absorb
accept. You know how you said your daughter lets that lie sit in?
Yes.
Because in this case, you don't even know what is coming after. You don't know if that is going to be sitting in for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So, just stepping out of denial, accepting that pain, sinking in, letting that pain sink in. Then because then you are now in the pain.
Yeah.
Now being able to rise up within that pain.
Yeah.
And turn it around into something purposeful.
Yeah.
I think you need to tell us
Yeah.
how that is.
Okay. So when I realized that one of the challenges that I had was the lack of self-worth, I connected the lack of self-worth to how I felt God felt about me. Because when we're born, we're told that we're born sinners. You haven't done anything, no. Meanwhile, you
Like,
have-
which kind of life be this? God, I beg.
so from the time you are born, you hear it all the time. You're
You
a
are not
sinner.
enough.
You are not enough. You are not worthy. You've got to struggle. You've got to perform. You have to keep performing. If you do, Bankera is waiting for you. And so there's a fear that has been built inside you for so long, but an unworthiness also subliminally that has been built inside you. This was my own awareness. So that then meant to me then that the first relationship I needed to shift was my relationship with God. Because I found out that everything we think that we're looking for is a journey back to self. Right? We're looking for everything because you say we want money. At the highest level, it's not really money you want. It's freedom to do what you want, how you want it, when you want it, with whom you want to do it.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's not really money, because have you met people who are extremely rich and extremely empty and unhappy? So money doesn't make you happy, but happy makes you money. The carer child, this is the one that makes sure that everybody's fine, but there's nothing left for that child. And in adulthood, you become a me. Because I understood, based on the teachers that I had, that the first person I had to deal with was me. And that I was attracting all the things that were happening in my life without even knowing it, because the law of attraction states that which is likened unto itself is drawn. And the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. It was tough for me to first of all even accept that I'm the one that is
thinking all of these things.
But when I actually sat down, I've done all kinds of exercises, but I did a 21-day mental diet, mental fast. I had
What does that even mean?
Rubber bands on my hand that the amount of pain I had on my hand was equal to the amount of negative thoughts that I had in my mind. So when I think something negative, I'll tap myself. When I saw how red, and you remember, we think 60,000 thoughts or more in a day, repetitively, and most of it are negative. So please tell me how you will not be attracting things that are negative. It's called a self-prophecy for a reason. If I go there, they will not like me. You go there, they don't like you. You say, and I said it. Yes, you said it. Hence it happened. Because you could have said, if I go there, they'll have no choice but love me. What would have happened differently? So I delved into having spiritual teachers first before any other kind of teacher. I didn't, no money, no, because money is energy, you know.
Please bear in mind, we're not talking religious.
No.
It has nothing to do. No. I just needed to put that out there.
No form. This was just a purity of my own spirit for me first. Now, don't forget, I have family around me. All of them are looking at me. What's wrong with this child? Who is deceiving her? What is all these things you are reading that is change? I tell people, once you start to hear people say you are changing, you're on the right track. It's paining you that they're saying it, but you're on the right track. Because what it means is that we're losing grip over you, and that's good. What it means is that we don't have control or power over you anymore. That is fantastic. We might not like it. It might seem like we're alone, but I'd rather be alone than have one idiot around me. And that idiot could be anybody. In fact, the bigger the idiot, the closer the family member. But that's another story for another day. Forgive me for using the word idiot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, so I had teachers like Byron Katie. I had teachers like Neil Donald Walsh. I had teachers like Michael Beckwith. Have you heard of any of these people?
None of the above. But please keep it
I
going.
had teachers like Abraham Hicks, who is like a medium. I had teachers like Ram Dass. I had teachers like Sadhguru. And if you go and check all these people, you see that there are a wide range of spiritual teachers. Right. Yes. Because I just needed to understand what my spirit was capable of. Oh, also Bob Proctor was one of my teachers as well. And trust me, I did all kinds of things, all kinds of trainings, and still am, because I'm very curious and I have a curious mind, and I'm very open to a lot of knowledge. Because I believe that
we're twinning on that.
God created everybody, and there's diamond in everybody. There's nobody, you say I'm a Christian, so I don't listen to, you will shut down diamonds that is meant for your soul just by cutting people off. So I was very open.
Now, I also realized I also had my own eternal gifts that I didn't trust for a long time. And even I was afraid of for a long time. So I say that I gift of hearing, seeing. I can spend time with you and start to tell you things that you're about told about yourself. And this even happened whilst as a child. But when some people asked my dad in my church to help me encourage it, my father discouraged it and said, I'm not a serious child. They should know a lot. They shouldn't encourage me going in that phase. But they say delay is not denial, right? Because he couldn't take that gift away from me. So that was how I started that journey. So the spiritual journey takes you first to self. So you will see yourself naked. Physically, emotionally, mentally. You'll sit on and cry in ways that ugly cry, only you will sit and be crying that cry. I did this exercise, the mirror work exercise. What I love about you is What I'm proud of you for is, what I forgive you for is, what I commit to you to do is, I did it for the first 6 months of my journey. Every morning I'll stand in front of my mirror. I do a lot. What I love about you is, I do a lot talking from myself to myself, because I learned that the praise that you're looking for is the praise that actually comes from you to you. No other praise will amount to the praise that comes from you to you. But we've been taught, because once again, as children, everything that you're looking for is on the outside. When your parents say you are good, you feel good. When they say you are bad, you feel bad. So we've externalized everything, that when we grow up, we still feel that people need to tell us, because we don't tell ourselves. And so in our relationships are struggling because we're expecting them to validate your every move. Half of the time, they can't even see you. The remaining half, they don't even see themselves. So how can they see you? And so I started to learn so much in my spirituality. I'll be singing songs. God, you know that I'm not worthy. I'm unworthy of this, your love. And I'll hear a voice say to me, who said so? I'll say, but that's what they've been telling me in church all this while, that I'm a sinner. And I'll hear again, who said so? To the point where I say, you know what? I eliminate and remove all the things they said I was. And I start to create the person that I choose to become. Because the life that you're looking for will be created by you. You're a co-creator with God. First of all, He has created everything, called it good, and then gave it dominion of every good thing. But we say we were bad. That's the problem. Then we now go into God that has said you have everything. Then let's start to beg Him for what He has given to us. Really? Not only do we beg, we now come back every day and remind God, because remember that sin I did yesterday. And God is saying, I don't remember. You're new every day. You're new every morning. You're new every moment. But no, you go back and remind. And it's not you reminding God. It's actually you reminding yourself. So you might not be in prison physically, but you're in prison the entire time of your life. If you've read Outwitting the Devil, if you've heard of it, was Napoleon Hill asking the devil, how do you keep people in bondage? He said, that's easy. I just make them drifters. I give them opposites. They don't know where they're going to. So it says 97% of the people are drifters, only maybe 3. And of course, in the way they call numbers, are dreamers. And who do they say get all the stuff done? It's the dreamers. The drifters are doing everything else but what they're meant to do. So they're focused on their phones. They're focused on other people's relationships. Therefore, nothing is bringing them back to self, because it's hard to look at self, like you said. It's easier to blame than take responsibility.
So how did you deal with the conflict in your mind?
It was a battle.
Because, and the conflict I'm talking about is, you accepted the pain and are now seeking solution, which led you to all of these teachers. Did you feel at any time that you try to caution yourself that, hey, you are getting into the wrong hands? In search of knowledge, in search of answers. I mean, we gave an example earlier where we were talking about, we never be in a situation where you are in such a dire situation because any other thing comes an answer.
Yeah.
How did you contemplate, once again back to the filter conversation?
Yeah.
How do you filter for, I think this is now getting too much or too little, or is me Sadhguru, is me this? Because I imagine these are all different schools of thoughts. Oh, how did you deal with that? You get deep when you've allowed yourself to accept knowledge, understanding, and you know that everybody realizing that everything is all about the same thing, right? For the enjoyment, that's your point. Yes, absolutely. How did you? Because I'm asking people who are feeling, I mean, this thing, but I don't want to go and get into the wrong hands.
So the first thing that I did was hypnotherapy. And that's how I became a hypnotherapist.
Well, that sounds scary.
I know. I was scared too, so I can understand it. I had a lady who every time I saw her, it felt like she had angel wings on her back. There was something peaceful about her that I desired.
Hmm.
And this is after doing some therapy. I was therapy donkey. If they say this is clarity talk, we go there. It was my mission to heal myself and come out of a hole that I was in. It was my only life's mission. Said this to my message, said, look, whatever you're saying, bye. I promise. Sure, that's exactly how she laughed when she was talking to you. She said, what do you mean by that? I said, whatever you're selling. Because if I can't, in the 10% of this piece that you carry, my life will not remain the same. I said, I don't know the therapies and blah, blah. But there's something you carry that I yearn for. And she said, well, I don't want anything, but I'm a rapid transformational therapist. I said, tell me about that. She said, one of the major tools that we use is hypnotherapy. I said, I reject you in Jesus' name. I said, because in Nigeria,
Is she Nigerian?
No, she's Jamaican, American, but originally Jamaican. So she laughed at me and she said, you're ignorant. I said, yes, I don't know anything about hypnotherapy. It's not a space that I've played in ever. And the hypnotherapy that we used to know as children, they will make you go and steal your father's gold. When you come back, they will slap you.
They touch you like this. You just be going. You will not know what is going on.
That's what they said, right? So I don't know how true it was.
Lord.
So in my mind, I'm like, never. So you make me go, no. You
So I
turn
won't be conscious.
Do you understand? You
turn
my eye inside. That she was laughing when I was saying it. It was so hilarious. She'd never heard such nonsense. But she understood it. She was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't. So she sent me videos. She said, listen to it. This is the person that I learned from, blah, blah, blah. Her name is Marissa Pear. So I said, okay, I would listen to it. All of this I'm talking about, I didn't discuss it with anybody because I didn't want anybody to stop me from doing this journey that I was on. Not
even your husband?
Nothing. I don't think they had given birth to the thing that could stop me. Till today, nothing. I didn't tell nobody because who do I explain it to? When I said I'm not okay, people are like, you're privileged. And there are a lot of people I've met that way that are afraid to speak because they feel guilty for feeling bad. They're like, people are like, you have a house, you have a husband, you have a child. Let's even forget, you are ungrateful. Exactly.
You're ungrateful.
You're ungrateful. My mother would have thought, after all I've done for you as a mother, my husband would have thought, what else do you want? And there's so many people in that place. That's why they don't seek help. Or they don't come out and speak and they kill themselves. And my heart reaches out to them because they don't know how to express the fact that they're in pain. Because how dare you be in pain? Crying in a limousine? How can you be crying? I'm crying in no car. And you can cry. Omi ekun po loju abi. How do they say that? Oh, baje. Do you understand? So, so when the lady sent me this thing, I sat down, I watched the videos, and I said, Adiola, you're already on the floor. How much lower can you go? And so I looked at in fact, that day I was actually sitting also physically on the floor. That was my best position, on the floor. Anytime you come and see me, you see me sitting on the floor. Because that's how I felt internally and externally. So I said, what's the worst that can happen? It won't work. What's the best that can happen? It will work. I'm going to hold on to the best. So I reached out to her. I said, I'm going to do it. She said, sure? I said, yes. Very sure. Did you tell anybody about it? No, I don't want anybody to talk me out of it. I'm sure I'm going to do it. So she told me how much it cost. We agreed. And she said to me, I don't think you need 3 sessions. I think 1 session will do you good.
She felt you were that ready.
She said, yes. She said, but I will hear it in 7 days and know whether you need to do more sessions. I said, how? She said, don't worry, I'll hear it. So I said, okay. So
and this was happening online?
Online. I've never physically met her till today.
Oh, really?
Never
So the
physically.
entire hypnotherapy session
Everything
happened
online. I've never physically met her. Never.
Interesting.
So that's why, I mean, it's not what we think we know, you know. And so she did the session with me. Now, after the session, you are given a recording, a bespoke recording to you that has been created by both of you with some words from you, some words from them, because we know what you need to hear.
Okay.
And you listen to it for the next 3 weeks. So you can only do one hypnotherapy session properly like that in a month.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the next 3 weeks, I was listening to this recording every night. She said to me, the more you listen to it, the more your subconscious mind will pick on it. Because what you need to change is your subconscious mind, not your consciousness. So what hypnotherapy does is it bypasses your consciousness. And why is that necessary? Because it's your consciousness that rejects things. Your subconscious accepts everything. So that's why whoever has your ears has your heart. Whoever you listen to repeatedly, if it's a fool, your heart will be foolish. And if it's a wise person, your heart will be wise. So be careful who you listen to. So I listened to it, and in my recording, it started to reaffirm it's not, why am I saying reaffirm? Teach me who I choose to be. Because you reaffirm something that was there before, Abi.
That's what we're trying to change. Right.
It wasn't there. So what I had was so negative. My critical voice was so much louder. My cheerleader had been silenced. So with this session, my cheerleader was increased and the critical voice in my head was silenced to the point where I couldn't hear the voice anymore. So I can't think negative thoughts right now. If you say something to me that has just happened, I don't know how to project it into the negative. I don't know how to do it anymore because I've trained myself to only see what's happening now and never catastrophize. I never do. I don't know how to do it anymore. Right? So because it was healed from my subconscious mind, it is very powerful. And so I wasn't struggling much. By the 7th day, when she spoke to me, she said to me, Adiola, you have changed. You're not the same person I spoke to 7 days ago. I said, I agree. If I was rating myself on things that she had asked me for, maybe I was on 3/10, 2/10. By the 7th day, I was rating the way I felt 7/10, 8/10, some 9/10. That's how powerful hypnotherapy or this practice was, because it's not just hypnotherapy. The tools that come with this practice, which is under the RTT, which is rapid transformation. And the rapid is there intentionally because it helps you rapidly. You don't have to be seeing a therapist 2 years of your life saying, and so this is how I felt, and then that's how I felt, and then that's how I felt. Most times, you just like hearing the sound of your voice, and the therapist likes to receive your money. I'm sorry, all my lovers out there.
Wow.
So if I can help, so when I saw what it did for me, I went to go and train for it. I said, there's no way I can keep this magic to myself. I've got to be able to express this same level of help to others. Wow. So therapy found me. My purpose found me. I didn't even know that I would ever be doing this. What I do now found me. I didn't go looking for it.
But your pain led
me there. Exactly. So that's how I link my pain and my purpose.
So if I understand correctly, because you had made a decision that you needed to change, and you looked around you and you felt you didn't want to give a chance for anything to silence you.
No. You know, a lot of us like to ask questions. What do you think? What do you think? Because they didn't teach us how to take decisions. You ask your mommy, especially you ask your daddy, exactly. You ask your brother, you ask your sister. This one, I caught everybody out. Because at the end of the day, that door can only take me. That space can only take me. And so I can't carry anybody else with me there. It was tough. It was lonely.
How long was this
extremely
process?
lonely.
Because when you say lonely, I want to.
I was lonely. I can't even lie. Maybe when you're going on a journey and you have a partner holding you and say, let's go
You're not
together,
alone.
you're not alone. So this is you having to strip off the old and die to yourself. And then in all of it, give birth to a new you alone.
All by yourself.
When I say alone, I had God with me. But I'm alone physically because nobody understood the journey that I was on.
So at this time, you had already worked on yourself spiritually.
Yes.
Earlier you started the spiritual journey first.
Yes.
Before you now went to this.
Yes.
And the spiritual journey, would you say it allowed you to be more open-minded?
Yes.
Because then it would answer the question where I was saying, how did you deal with the conflicts in your mind?
At that point, I didn't have any conflict anymore because I didn't feel like I needed to hold myself ransom to anything anymore because God didn't hold me to ransom. I can't remember when last I asked God to forgive me because I don't believe that God has a capacity to be upset with me. So when I do things, and so I don't know how to blame myself or guilt trip myself over anything that I've done anymore. Because if God is not doing it to me, I'm not doing it to me either.
That is a whole different conversation. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Yes.
It's a whole... when we say all of these teachings...
Yeah.
At the end of it, if you allow yourself to be open-minded enough, you realize everybody's talking about the
same thing. Absolutely.
It's like when Christians talk about grace and how grace allows you, and it gives you that latitude to, it just extends that. It's not by your doing. So whatever you do, grace covers you.
That's because you cover you.
Yeah, some that people can pray that boys not now because there is grace, you continue in yes. When you look at it all from a Yoruba perspective, for example, is the Yoruba believe in being. They'll say we wa. When you say wa, it you exist, and in spirituality too. Yeah. So that's your existence, right? By itself, it's its own energy, and by itself, it's its own purpose, and it's feeling its own purpose as on a journey. And it's not just on it's not drifting. It's not just on a random journey.
Exactly.
It's purposeful. Even when you don't think the span or this when you believe that you have whatever you are, you have chosen.
Yes, Ori, I be what you call it.
Your Ori, which is you.
Yes.
It's just that when you come to earth, you forget what you've chosen. But regardless, your feet,
you course correct.
You are going in the direction that you are supposed to be
going. Yes.
And you are fulfilling the purpose on earth that you are supposed to, either to other people, other human beings, whether animate or inanimate things, per time, you are fulfilling purpose, and nothing can take you
away
until that's your time.
Yes, is done. Yeah.
So when you look at that school of thought,
I like that.
And it's also why I smiled when you say you don't believe, speaking of, you don't believe in the devil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I made a statement which contradicts.
Yes.
I'm like, as a Christian, I don't believe
Yes.
that. But as a
Yoruba person,
100%, because Yoruba does not even believe in the concept of
issue.
There's issue in Yoruba.
It's meant to be a good person. Exactly.
It's just that a temperament that is which we have people all around us are like that. So
you be like your creator.
The role that he actually plays is like it's like the role of a judge. Judges in court system. They hear this side, they hear this side. You did good, you did bad. So he just brings you to a crossroad where you always to make a decision. Yes, I get you. And you find God. Imagine. So you are somebody that's always doing bad. He just gives you bad
consequences, choices. That's it.
That is how the Yoruba sees that day. So we don't believe in the concept of issue is doing me. No, it is it is by your own
Your handwork. Yes.
that you have, in fact, you have created the world that you are created, you teasing, you said your person created, and you continue to do that. And I think it is the most powerful place that one can find oneself. Which leads me to my next question. Like,
So what mindset did you have to unlearn to get here? To get to the, of course, you're still fulfilling your purpose, but to even get to the place where you know for yourself that I'm now on that journey. Some people are accidentally on the journey of their
Unconscious
lives.
competence.
Unconscious, yes. But when you know, there's a different type of power that comes with that, because you know what you're doing,
Awareness.
you know that you're living, you know that what you're doing is powerful, and you are deliberate at whatever steps that you're taking. So what mindset did you have to adopt to unlearn, or what did you need to unlearn to really get to that space?
So I think the word you're looking for is mentality.
Okay.
Because mentality is deeper than mindset. Mindset is like, I can change your mindset now. It's how your mind is set today. It can change. But mentality is the strongholds. It's your belief system. That's where
Right.
your mentality is. So the moment I was able to change my mentality about who I chose to be. So I created a new identity
Before
for
you
myself.
go on.
Yes.
I noticed that you choose your words very carefully.
I'm very particular.
So we would be quick to say who I am. Why do you speak from that place of chose to be who
Because everything in life is a choice. I realize that. You can choose to be and choose not to be. And everything will happen for you either to be or not to be. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
So for me, it was a choice.
Right.
It was a choice to change my life. The decision I made that night was a choice. And the actions that I took after it was a choice. And so when I realized that the identity that I carried was what was bringing the results that I had to change my identity. So I sat down one day and I was asking myself, okay, so who would I like to be? Because sometimes we actually don't know. I did a session with some people last week, and nobody in the hall, if there were about 50 or 60 people, none of them could hold the microphone and say, this is who I am.
That's a difficult question to answer.
Now, if you don't know who you are, how can you get anything? How do you create a life from being a nobody? Because when I asked one guy, I said, okay, tell me, he said, my name is, I said, that's not who you are, that's your name. And he goes, oh, I'm a doctor, I said, those are all roles you play. That's not who you are. I'm a husband, role, title. I'm a father, role, title. Then he looked at me, he says, I am a nobody. That's what he said.
Oh, now that's an identity.
Yeah. Because he said to me, he said, I have, my essence is tied to all these things that you have said is not who I am. So I'm nothing without these things.
So why didn't he say, I don't know? Why did he say he's a nobody?
That's his interpretation to it.
Right.
And you know, everybody's interpretation, once you said something about knowledge, and the amount of whatever you get will only be capped by the knowledge you have. That's his knowledge about it. And so I helped him to shift that. So when I sat down, I had to start doing that work. So changing my mentality, I said, how would I want people to feel when I'm around them? So it's no longer, so, you know, a lot of us are in our brain, in our minds, in our heads. Not many of us are in our hearts. What we don't know is that we were first a heartbeat before the brain was even formed. So your heart is actually more important. But because things have happened to us in our lives and we said, shut down, shut down, shut down, shut down, I will never.
We've become reactive beings.
Yes. So once you see yourself about to fall in love, for example. Never. Because you remember.
They will not catch me there.
And you have told your mind.
Oh,
and your
dear.
mind that is your best PA is saying your wish is my command. So it's every time you're about to fall in love, pam, 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 red alert, red alert. Remember the last one. Remember the last one that messed with you. So you create
no.
You create a heart wall. Now, if your heart is not open, there's so little you can do. Really? Because your logical mind, first of all, is not formed completely till you're 25. So imagine that you were heart 100% for the first 25 years of your life.
Oh dear.
Your heart, pure. Imagine what happened between that young age, and then all of a sudden you say that heart is no longer important to me. You shut it down. And that's how some people from there also have heart attacks and all those different things, because they don't know what has happened to them and what they've created. And that's topic for another day. Because it shows up. So I wrote down, I said, I want people to feel, so I wrote down, I am air. I give people a reason to live, love, and breathe. And I wrote, I am light. I bring clarity, awareness, and understanding. I am unconditional love. I love because it's who I am. And then I wrote, I am an example on earth that God exists. I looked at it and said, now that's who I am. Of course, I didn't believe it. That's not who I am. But by the time I started to repeat this thing to myself.
So when I introduce myself to people now, or when people introduce me to other people, without me saying all these things, they did things like, meet Adiola, she's the light in our darkness. I'm like, yes. Because that's what I want people to feel.
The energy.
So I started to become these things impersonify. When you hear me speak, sometimes you hear that go into my lower realm of when I'm speaking. I speak lower, I speak slower, I play music, so I'm able to connect with you in a different way. Because I'm air. You cannot come past me without getting some air to breathe, without feeling better. Impossible. At least I'll shift one thing that you have said. One thing. I will shift it by opening your mind to seeing something differently. And this happened in my life consistently. You might not like me, but that's okay. But that I will not help you shift something. I had a conversation with a lady 3 weeks ago. She's maybe 10 years older than me.
By the time I was done talking to her, she says, Adiola, where did you get such wisdom from? I said, I learned it. I have a 71-year-old mother who looked at me one day and said, you inspire me.
Oh, Lord.
You know what inspire
What a
is?
beautiful
Is
day.
breath. Is air. That's what inspire means. That's why expire means death. Out, exactly. And I said to her, I said, why did you say that? She said, because you have a freedom that I wish I had. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you or feels about you. The most important thing is what you feel and say about yourself.
I said, hey, now then what? Oh God, this is my mother that has watched me live. So it's first an internal work. And it's a love work. Something that I'm saying to you is I'm still doing it. Still. I'm still telling myself who I am. I'm still repeating it over and over and over again. When people ask me to send me their bios, this is what I send them. I don't write, I work, I produce. I don't. People say, so what are the real bio? I said, this is my real bio. And that's me that person. What about? Because we're used to rolling and playing in our roles and titles.
Right.
If my mother dischilded me, my husband diswifed me, My children dismothered me. My friends disfriended me. My work disworked me. What's
Will
left?
there still be?
And so that's who I am. And that's how I was able to change my mentality. And that's how I was able to create what I created and still creating, because I come from a place of who I know I am and who I also know you are that you don't know yet.
So let's dial back to when this all started. Were there habits that you had to incorporate? Of course, you've already said some of repeating certain things.
It's
to
not
yourself.
easy. It becomes monotonous.
You
Yes,
know,
and boring.
and I think that is why it's
a bit difficult for people to follow through with New Year resolution.
Yes. By day 3.
Habit, because in fact, and everybody says, oh, if you can keep up for 30 days, it becomes.
We say it.
If you don't have so were there habits they had to incorporate? But then,
What we have.
who were they? No, not that big. Not really more, but because I don't think it's about the habits. I think what people struggle with will be, have I ensure? But I keep doing think what you do.
Yes.
Knowledge. We have the major
I think that's the problem. Information only makes you brilliant. But yes, if you do nada, you say brilliant poor and brilliantly stupid for the rest of your life.
And yes, there's also the ability to adapt knowledge.
Yeah.
And have information in front of you. Or you could have tried something yesterday and completely did not fail. They need a different challenge today and just a learning from this. If you are just
Yes,
would have been
yes,
easy.
yes.
So-
That's maturity.
adaptive
Adaptability.
thinking, you know.
Yes, yes.
That's once again a
Yes,
discussion
yes.
for another day. But what were those things that you were able to do? And how did you get yourself to continue to do to power through?
Yes. Very brilliant question. Very brilliant question. So I created a course called Change Your Habits, Change Your Life.
Change your habits, change your life.
It's a 21-day course. Every day you do something. There's an action point, and
Right.
you must do it because I'm both principalities and powers. Even if I'm not with you, it's 21. I tell my clients, are you sure? Because so I created that course because I realized that the problem with people is the habits that they refuse to inculcate and work on. The first thing that I had to do was discipline. I had to teach myself discipline. I was very indisciplined. Extremely. I lacked discipline.
It's painful to be disciplined.
Lacked every because I'm a creative.
Painful.
And creative people have lied to themselves that we're scattered. We're not business people. We're only. And so that was a lie I told myself for so long. So it was painful. I would tell myself that I had to do something. And then at that point, I will now have a headache. Because my mind, do you understand? Because my mind knows that I don't want to do it because I've grumbled about doing it. And your mind says, don't worry, stomach ache will come at that time. You don't have to stand up. And in my stomach ache, I'll stand up and say, Adiola, you are trying to teach yourself how to trust yourself. If you are never accountable to yourself, you can never be accountable to anybody else. Doesn't matter who the person is. So get up. So I'll get up with this running stomach that I've created to stop me from getting up, and I'll go and do that thing anyways. I'll be doing it out of it. I can say, the rain is falling. You need duvet. This will say Netflix and chill out. Then I will stand and I will have this unrest in my spirit. That thing that I want to do, instead of doing the thing that I'm meant to do, will now not be sweet anymore.
Jeez.
So it started to build that. I started to build that strength from within to say, discipline means you've got to do it whether you like it or not. That's how I interpreted discipline in my head. Whether you like it or not, you're going to get up and do it. Because what if, and then one day as I was meditating, God said to me, what if that one person that you're meant to talk to because of your indiscipline, the person dies? Sis, I didn't have to disturb myself again. I just needed to remember that statement. What if this thing that I'm about to do will save one person? Just one person. So in business, or when people say, hey, I don't have the numbers, what if you're only sent to one person?
To one person.
What if? And then God says to you, but I sent you to one. What did you do with my one? You say, because I didn't have 1,000. So I'll be like that man that went to go and bury my talent. Just because. And so, once again, I told you I'm obedient. I just need to hear it once. And God, the way I trust myself, God trusts me also. He knows that if He tells me to do anything, I won't question it. Then some people say, how do you know that God is the one speaking? Because anything that is for people is God. Anything that is separative is not. Period.
Say that again.
Anything that is for people is God. Anything that separates you from people is not the God that I serve. Once again, I go back to the God that I serve. Because the God
one that you have come to know.
Exactly. Because the God that you choose to know is the God that will show up for
But if
you.
you look at it, it makes complete sense logically. He's a God of abundance.
Yep.
Everything God created is abundant.
Yes.
Without
the
end.
sky, the
Without
water.
end.
Yes. Everything.
When man came, decided to get it.
Yes.
Decided to dam the water.
Yes. And create
Put
blockage.
gateways.
Exactly. Exactly. Everything. So for me, I'm happy. And so that's one of the things. The next thing that I did, so you say consistency, I created a routine. So I have a block of things. So for example, with my health, or my health and wellness and my spirituality, and choosing all the things, most times we think it's only our work that we're meant to work on, our career, our money.
Yes.
But that's the least of the things that we should be working on. Now, is money not important? Money is one of the most important things on earth. You need money to do almost anything. However, that money itself is not the physical money. It's the energy around it. And that only comes from a value that you exchange. So when I look at it from that point, I'm like, okay, this is important. But there are other aspects of me, and I call them the 9 elements. I created a course also called the 9 elements of you. I call them the 9 elements. So you have the you, that is you, yourself.
Yeah.
You have your physical part, which is your space. How cluttered is your space? How clean or neat is your space? Because the more cluttered your space is, the more your mind is cluttered and your brain and the things you see, you can't see clearly. So are you a hoarder? When you come into your space, what do you receive? Have you heard of feng shui before? So it's the energy of your space. There are certain leaves that shouldn't be in your space, i.e. this should not be in your space because
Cactus.
it's spiky. Yes, shouldn't be inside, it should be outside. Tiny leaves like this, long, shouldn't be. These are the kind of leaves you should. So the knowledge that you have, this is spikes. So you're bringing spikes into your life. People don't know that. They don't know.
Should be outdoor.
Outdoor, not inside.
Could still be decorative, but
Outside,
should be outdoor.
Outside, not inside your house. Because your space is meant to allow things come in. Do you know?
So why not the tiny leaves?
Because they're not open and abundant enough. They're not receiving. They're like spikes too. If you look at it, it's spiky.
Like a blade.
So when you see a picture of these spikes, would you see beauty in your mind's eye? Because we also don't know that these things connect
Psychologically.
to us. Yes, and subliminally. You have a picture of a dead horse. Do you know what that is bringing into your space? But you think it's art.
Is
No, it's not. What does this picture depict? What is it taking away from your energy? So I'm also
No, that's actually
I'm so
powerful.
many things, right?
No. So I agree.
I want
Because I
to
can
show
also
you
feel
something.
that,
Yes.
yeah.
So
That's
there are power
powerful.
spots in your space that you should be facing, not backing. There are power spots. Yes.
So depending on where you're facing,
Yes.
with every compass you identify your north.
Yes. Your
South,
south,
east,
your
and west.
southeast, your south.
So
Exactly.
you're facing me now.
Yes.
I'm your north,
Yes.
and you're my north. Because of where I'm
with
facing.
this, yes, something like that.
Right,
Yes.
okay.
So it shows that, my power spots here, if I was going to put certain things, because this graph has been created for me, my relationships. So on this part, I need to put something that depicts relationships that are thriving and healthy. So maybe I put my family pictures, for example, to keep, sorry, this is health. So you could just put something like, like a nice flower that shows, or a golden, a book that talks about health, for example.
Great.
And so every time you look there, you are looking at something that talks about your health. And I'm sure people are going to say, this woman is talking nonsense, she's woo-woo. But the truth is that the fact that you're ignorant about something doesn't mean that it will not kill you.
That is life. That is life.
So there's the wisdom part, something that you need to do that reminds you of learning. There's the relationships. So what do you need to put there to keep having fruitful relationships? People put televisions or mirrors on their bed is here. They have television here and mirror. What it's doing is that is making you energetically is creating duplicity in your room.
So instead of 2 people, because there's a mirror, it seems like there's 4 people, and there's somewhat, so you're never feeling comfortable in your room because it's never just 2 of you. But you don't know that is because you are seeing more images
Of yourself.
when I found these things out, sis, I'm like, oh my goodness, her name is Marie Diamond. You could Google her and check for her. She's a Feng Shui queen, right? So I had to get her app. There's your energy number. There's so many things. Marie Diamond, yes, you can Google her. And anybody that is listening, I don't hide the things that I learned. And you will see it, Feng Shui. There's certain things that even the way your ornaments are they put at the back, she will teach you how to create your space in such a way that brings in abundance.
So imagine an interior decorator.
If they know it,
Applies this.
oh my goodness.
So imagine an interior decorator who remember the question I asked you
In
earlier?
the spirit.
When you've come to a place of knowing.
Yes.
And you are moving
In that
deliberately.
space, yes.
And once again, the fact that you don't know that a power exists
Doesn't mean that it doesn't.
mean that it's not
And it
there.
doesn't mean that it won't kill you.
So I now pay an interior decorator. The person arranges my space. And just because I worked with you, things start going well for me. Who was this person inside the Bible?
Thank you.
No, not Jacob. It was Jacob. That's who
you.
Jacob was to his father-in-law.
Thank you.
It was
You got
knowledge.
it.
It
Yes.
was knowledge
Yes.
that helped him to
Yes.
be able to
Yes.
tell the animals to cross something, or to be looking at something so that they
Yes.
start having spots.
You've got it.
Knowledge.
You've got it.
Not
You've got it.
It's
And
not
you'll be
voodoo.
wondering,
It's not jazz.
how do I-
Knowledge.
100%. So for me, knowledge became the only thing that I yearn for. In fact, help people learn is my happy place. I can sit down. I just came back from Abuja. I did 6 days back to back, studying in a class 6 hours every day. For what am I saying? About 7 to 8 hours every day. All the Easter that people were eating chicken, I was in a class.
My God.
We were training the entire period. And so for me, learning is the only place that I find joy. In fact, one of the most, because you see me, I'm like a child. I will sit down, I created a book for myself. I titled Adeola's Extraordinary Life. 300 pages is book. I promise you. I have quotes for myself. I have my goals and things that I want to achieve. I have different
Do you still update?
yes, updating the time is like my life's book. It's just, but it's about me. I have pictures of my family, how I see it. I have my strategy around the things that I need to do. I have my, I broke it down to 13 different areas of my life. I say if you spend the time, invest your time in your life, you won't have time for other people's business. You won't be in anybody else's business but yours. So if you sat down and looked at it that, okay, I want to be so, at some point, I can talk about love the way I talk about love because I went through the process of learning how to love. They didn't teach us how to love, my sister. They taught us trade. If you do this, I do that. And that's how we have relationships till okay, it's very transactional. Very. And that's why we have that it is transactional. God, if I give you, then you too, you give. You even hear God, I will. If you do that for me, God is saying, I've done everything to walk into who that all. So in everything we do, we are transactional. So I'm through the process of learning what love and how to love and breaking down every heart wall that I had created around myself that said, I will never allow anybody hurt me again.
Because hurt is part of love. And if you risk the chance of hurting, you risk the chance of loving. So it was everything for me. I looked at all the areas of my life and I said, I want to be great at all these things, which means every day I'm going to give you attention. It's not just go to church on Sunday for God. It's every day. And so I created a morning routine for myself between 5 a.m. or sometimes 5:30 till 7 a.m., 1.5 hours. I call it my time with myself. In that time, I would do my meditation. In that time, I would do my prayer. In that time, I would do my workout. In fact, I actually do 2.5 hours. But for people who say they don't have time, I say go to bed earlier. So you can create, even if it's 30 minutes, and do 10 minutes of something in the morning before your because if you are sick, everything around you will be sick. And there are a lot of functioning traumatists on the street right now. That was a word I coined because I was that. I was functioning through my trauma. And now there's something called anhedonia, which is a type of depression, which is the loss of life. So you're walking around, you're even functioning in the walk. People are saying, call Bola, she will help you. Call Bola, she will do it. But that zest for life is lost in you. That light in your eyes is no longer there. You're just doing it just for people, most of the time it's for other people.
It's obligatory.
Yes. And so that meaning that you desire is no longer there. And meaning and purpose, they are brother and sister, right? So I would do that in the morning. It didn't let the house be crumbling. Let the house be crumbling. I was do that time. And I used to suggest it to people because just do it like a tapping effect. So after doing this, then your brain starts to register it. So we do this, then we do this, then we do this, then we do this, then we do this. So first of all, I wake up in the morning, I drink a glass of water or two. Or drink a bottle of water, depending on what I want to drink, because your body needs to, after all the work it did in night, you want to hydrate. You drink that. Then I do a meditation. Then I get up. Then I go for a walk or go for a dance or something. Come back, sit down, do another meditation, create my intention for the day. And then, and I started calling it beautiful names. So, for example, when I'm doing my exercise, I call it getting my sexy on. Just call it something that, what's the end goal?
Something that
what do you want to end? What's the end of it? It's like, okay, then so call it that so that when you're seeing it, you're inspired to keep doing it. Because yes, it can be monotonous. It can be boring, but boredom is part of life. It's because they've taught us that we need to keep doing things. That's why, because we have become human doings rather than human beings.
Wow.
Right? So that's how discipline was the first thing for sure. And then I became a no matter what type of person. once again, the house can be crumbling. It doesn't matter. And when I talk about it, I become, you can feel my energy shift. I become a warrior when I'm talking about my growth, because the warrior in me had to stand up for me to be able to achieve this. I put the lover, the magician, the sovereign a little bit to the side. The warrior in me had to show up for me to be able to start to trust me. Because if you ever say, I don't trust this person, it's because you don't trust yourself. And you don't trust that you will choose right for yourself. But rather than taking responsibility for it, you think it's the other person. So I had to first trust me and tell me that I can trust me. And then I was able to come out from there. And these ripple effects of my routines really helped. I had a night routine as well before I go to bed. In fact, I have all kinds of alarms. I give myself an hour before I go to bed to just even restructure my day to how I wanted it to be. Not how it went, but how I would have chosen it to be. Because the way you sleep is the way you wake up, and I must always sleep in peace. So I would do that routine. Sometimes I would do a meditation, whatever. If I wanted to spend time or read a book with my daughter, I'll sit down and read a book with her, depending. But by a particular time, I'm in bed. I had to teach myself. First of all, my phone shuts down. No color, no audio. Phones off, TV off, lights off. It's sleep time. So all the things that we refuse to do, knowing that it's better for us, I had to start to teach myself how to do it and do it repetitively every day until it stuck. So now I can be in a room with my television and for 2 weeks I don't turn it on, because I don't need to teach myself on Instagram or social media. I did that with social media as well. I give myself 30 minutes a day, because one day I was doing my makeup and my husband said, you spent the last 45 minutes doing your makeup. I said, I'm still learning. He said, if you calculate 45 minutes times 5 days times 365 days, you would have spent 3 months of 1 year doing makeup.
Now, when they put it to you like that.
When he said it, he just said it and walked away. I looked at his big head. I said, But when I calculated the time that I was spending on Instagram,
That's unproductive.
So I set 30 minutes on all my social media every day. When it's 30 minutes, it will tell me logging off. It could ask also, do I want to increase the time? But most times at that time, when I'm teaching myself the discipline of scrolling other people's life instead of scrolling my life, I would say off. So 30 minutes a day. To the point where I even removed it from my phone. My brain had already registered 30 minutes. So after 20, in fact, it will even shut down on its own. Yes, I'm done.
The timer was...
Yes. So you just see me on Instagram. My daughter said, Mommy, but you're not looking at anything. I say, yes, I know what I'm looking for. That's how I scroll on Instagram. When I see it, I will stop. That's how I scroll Instagram. I'm not reading anybody's. I don't watch the news at all, because I've never seen anybody watch the news and say, yay, I'm ready to... And I work in a news channel, by the way. But I don't watch the news because I'm very careful about the information I allow get into me, whether in my eye, nose, mouth, ears, skin, touch, because all of it goes into your subconscious mind. So I'm very particular. So once again, you can see that the discipline. If I spend time with you and you complain about somebody, the first time I give it to you, by the second time you won't see me anywhere near you again. I won't spend time with you, and I'll tell you that I
the energy.
No. I don't do those things. So I created. It's first discipline.
It's first discipline, and then I moved to discipleship. I became very, very careful about the people I spend time with, because as they say, if you have 4 foolish, you didn't count well. You have got 5.
Yeah, the 5th person. We've just heard from Adiola, and she has reminded us that our life's work doesn't start with a business plan or a blueprint. It starts from within. It starts with inner work. From spark to strategy. What will you be starting with from within this week? Remember, real stories, real strategies. That's how empires are built. This is Idea to Empire.